For section 4.1, we talked about how to write an equation given a table or a graph. And when you write an equation, in general, the equation needs to be set up as y equals your rate times x plus your beginning value, okay? So if we look at this table and your beginning value, if we back up, your beginning value is always your y value when x is equal to 0. So you need to have on your table an ordered pair of 0 with a number here, and your y value would be the beginning value of that. So in order to find your rate, you have to find the change in y over the change in x. And when I say change in y, I mean what is the pattern going between my y values? Well, how do I go from 10 to 1? I add 1. 11 to 12, I add 1. 12 to 13, I add 1. My change in y is 1. Whereas my change in x, how do I go from 10 to 30, is I add 10. And the pattern continues all the way throughout the table. So my change in x is 10. 1 divided by 10, if I simplify that, is 0.1. And feel free to simplify it, that doesn't hurt anything. Now your beginning value, like I said, you need an ordered pair 0 something on the table. And since we don't have that, that means you have to work backwards. So if we work backwards in our pattern and subtract 10, 20 minus 10 is 10, and I work backwards in my pattern here and subtract 1, I get 9. Now I still don't have the ordered pair 0 something, so I go back again in my pattern and I subtract 10 there, and I subtract 1 there, and I get 8. Now notice how if x is 0, my beginning value, my y value, is equal to 8. That being said, my equation is y equals my rate, which is 0.1, x plus my beginning value. Your rate comes from your change in y over your change in x, and your beginning value was your y value when x was 0. If we look at C, notice how my y's are changing by 16 and my x's are increasing by 0.5. That would make my rate, my change in y over my change in x, equal to 16 over 0.5. And if you simplify that, you actually get 32. Going backward in my pattern, in order to get my ordered pair 0, I subtract my pattern on my left side, and I'll subtract my pattern on my right side. When x is 0, y is equal to 0. So my equation is y equals my rate, which is 32, x plus my beginning value. If we look at E, my change in y is 3, my change in x is 10, so my rate is 3 over 10, which is also 0.3. I need to go backwards in my table to get the ordered pair 0. In this case, subtracting 3 gives me 0. When x is 0, y equals 0. So my equation is y equals my rate, x plus my beginning value.